There we go. It says it's preparing.
Very technical. Oh.
Hello, everyone. I have Carly from Wrap You in Rainbows. We're going to have a bit of a chat and talk to you about all things baby wearing, slings, wraps, and everything else like that. Make comment below. Let us know that you're watching. Ask any questions. We've had a couple beforehand, which we'll go through as well. But first off, hi,
Carly. Hello. You okay?
So how are you doing?
Yeah, all good. Adjusting to life outside of the norm. It's all good. How about you?
Yeah, about the same. Not getting out on walks as much as I would like. I had in my head that I would have this time to go out for a good walk each day. And then I get into bed and go, I didn't go for a walk today.
We had a dog last year. We've had it nearly a year, and that's been my real incentive to get out because we were really good. And when the weather was good, we were out and we were going exploring. And then when the weather changed last week, I've been rubbish in the day. But of course, she's there sitting at me in the evening, just looking at me. So I have to go for at least a good half an hour, 45-minute walk then. So but yeah, no, it's hardcore.
Yes, I was going to say, I do miss our dog. We had one, but she passed away a few years ago. But yeah, I do miss that they make you get out.
They do. And relax as well, don't they?
Yeah,
highly relaxing.
It's very nice. But I have to say, my one win today, I have been promising myself for weeks that I was going to make some bread. And a friend of mine posted up last week that they'd made some chia batter. And I went, oh, that looks really scrummy. So today I have made my chia batter. My win. Today's win.
Impressed. I don't bake. Sadly, I don't bake. I cook just about. I do the odd little batch of sponge cakes with the boys, but bread. Oh no.
Well, I have to say, what appealed to me about this one was it was a no knead bread. That's my thing.
Yeah.
It was a no knead bread. It was chuck it in together, give it a mix, leave it for 90 minutes, tip it out, put it in the oven.
Yeah.
I can do that.
That sounds ideal.
So we went with that. So I haven't tasted it yet. I'll let you know what it tastes like.
Yeah, do. Very impressed.
So tell me about your about slings. How do you know which one, or slings, wraps, carriers, whatever you want to call them?
Yeah.
I know they've all got technical names, but things to put babies in. Yeah. How do you know which one to pick?
Purely based on experience and trying it out myself for me to start with. So when my eldest was born, my friend used to post pictures of her in a stretchy wrap, and I can remember thinking, how on earth does that work? He's going to fall out. That I could never be getting used to that. And actually, I did shy away from that first time round, so I avoided the whole stretchy thing. But I was really keen to try things out. And sadly, when I had Noah, there were no sling libraries or anything anywhere nearby here. I think the closest was probably the other side of Birmingham. And with a 2-week-old, I could not be doing with driving across to Birmingham for that. So I sadly didn't get over, and I just ended up buying loads myself. I bought mate ties, I bought ring slings, I bought buckles. I bought everything, but nothing. I got the gist of it, and they all felt like a really good idea, but nothing felt completely 100% right. We did have this fabulous baby hawk mate tie, which had been, I don't think where I found out about those now. I think I just got used to going onto Facebook and onto slingy pages and looking. And that was quite nice. Even my husband would wear that as well, but the tightening and the faff, sometimes it took a bit of a long time. And then I discovered a Tula, which became my absolute passion. And they are brilliant. The only downside with the standard Tula that I had is that you can't wear them from newborn. So when I had my second one, I then started looking at everything else and the stretches and blah, blah, blah. But obviously I did my consultancy training not long after I found the passion for slings, so learned about all the different types with that as well. So yeah, qualified consultant, but it's down to personal preference. There are so many different types, as you say, and it's worth just trying on loads of different ones and seeing what suits you and baby.
Yeah. So obviously with social distancing, you're going to have to, trying on slings and things like that is a bit tricky at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you still operating at the moment, socially distanced? Or are you having to?
Well, I've done most of it online during the main lockdown period. And now, with the weather being decent outdoors, I'm doing demos from a distance if people wish to actually see. I mean, a lot of people are coming around to my house to collect slings anyway, so we'll just do a quick socially distanced demo, from a distance, which helps sometimes rather than being on screen. But a lot of it we've been doing on the screen as well, with me just so standing there and doing the demo first. It's slightly more difficult because a lot of it, just getting those little tweaks and adjustments, is what makes it sometimes. But the fact that we can still offer it in some capacity is a great thing.
Sounds good. Yeah, because I know for me, because I didn't wear my first one, wasn't really aware of them, if I'm honest, but that was like 12 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a sudden. So Noah's 8 in September, and when I first started to carry him, it was still quite a novel thing, but it was definitely starting to build. And so about 4 or 5 years, there's been a massive increase in the population, I think.
Yeah, because I wore number 2 and number 3, so my second one is a little bit older than your eldest.
Okay.
And I used to get so many funny looks of like, what on earth? I use like the Moby stretchy with him.
Yeah.
And that was great because it kept my hands free to deal with toddler and everything else.
And they're so happy when they're there, most of the time, as long as they're comfortable, it's where they want to be, and you can get on, can't you? And they're still next to you, so you've still got that whole bonding thing going on with them, and you can get on with your busy toddler as well, which is just amazing.
And that's probably a good time to ask one of the questions I've been given, which is about separation anxiety. Does wearing them make it help with that, or does it actually make them more clingy?
I mean, well, my personal opinion is exactly the same as the research that I've looked into. And because they are happy, content next to you, it actually builds their resistance to being, it basically doesn't make them clingy because they are so used to being next to you and getting their needs met, that they become really, really confident individuals. We're not making them stay next to us and going, if you leave us, then we're going to, you're going to cry. It just settles them, makes them feel relaxed, cozy, and just basically meets all the needs that they can possibly have at that age and beyond. Both of my 2, you've never seen such independent sticks, and they've both been carried since day 1. It didn't stop them walking. It's just another thing that comes up occasionally. Obviously, you're still getting the tummy time, you're getting the neck control because they're there, the language development because you're talking to them. So the research that has been done, there's an awful lot of research out there. I'll post you some links later on. Points to the fact that it actually helps with their confidence and their ability to be independent rather than the opposite way around, which I think some people do.
I think that from also the bits of research I've done with it, and also again from my personal experience, I always describe it as, imagine having a glass, and it's a need glass, and they need a certain amount of attention and comfort and physical contact before they're happy to be put down.
Absolutely.
So once that glass is full, then it's full and they're happy to be put down. But if it's lots of little bits, they're only getting little top-ups, and it can feel like you're just holding them all the time before they're happy to be put down. But I also think I found for me when I was wearing was that it wasn't an issue holding them, because you're wearing them, you've still got your hands free, you're still getting on with your day, so you actually don't feel like you're carrying them all the time.
Absolutely,
So it actually meant that both of our needs were getting met. They were getting their physical contact. I was getting on with my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're skin to skinning all day. You've got all of that, just that love there between you. But as you say, you can just get on and actually do things as well. My 2, the amount of times I've actually cried when they've been in the sling has been so few and far between. The rocking motion, it's basically saying, especially when they are newborn, the 4th trimester, it's exactly what they've been used to, and it's just carrying on that as they come out into this big wide world, isn't it? But as I say, for a mom's sanity, it saved mine, I can tell you that much, because it literally carry on. Not that we should be doing too much, but it allows you just to be able to.
And again, whatever's in your comfort zone. For me, it was that thing of just being able to walk down to the school and know that I had my hands free. Was one of my issues that with especially with the second one, was you're trying to walk down to school. Some of the paths were quite narrow, and you're trying to wait at crossings with a push chair, look if it's safe,
Yeah.
And before you know it, you've got your pushchair in the middle of the road when you're just trying to check.
Yeah, absolutely. And even things like getting into a nursery environment, the pushchair was not going to go into the school. So you have to leave them outside in the pushchair or stand there while you go, somebody else goes and fetch your child for you. I just think it means you can carry on with life to the full extent that you want to. We've been to Frankie and Benny's and then gone straight into the cinema. And then my eldest has gone in the soft play. And that's all been able to happen while Toby was fast asleep on me, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
That was more like I had to wake him up in the end because he was just going to sleep there the whole day. So I
Yes.
had to wake up to feed and stuff. But yeah, just so perfect in so many ways. And I've met so many people now that I've introduced to them. There have been a few people that just haven't gelled with it because their child has not wanted to be carried. But that's it's all about different baby personalities and different parent personalities. But I strongly believe with the amount of different ones that there are about, that there is something for for everybody, and it's just as well as being that closeness and that bonding, it's just practical, isn't it? As well?
Yeah.
Really practical.
I was going to say for some mums who maybe haven't started from a young age, maybe have 6-7 month olds that are looking at introducing it now, maybe expecting another one, knowing that they're going to need hands free.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the things that what are some of the things that they can do to help older ones get used to being in a sling?
I suppose, well, if they're used to being carried anyway, making it fun. At 6 months, if they're kind of older than that, if they're toddlers, just making it fun, doing piggybacks, back carrying. Hip carrying is also a good one. But I would say the majority of children, even if they haven't been in a sling, are used to being carried.
Oh, you've frozen for a second.
Yeah, I suppose.
One of the things that someone suggested to me, or that going through it, was just making, if you're doing with the older ones, was also making sure that you're putting them when they're happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a temptation that, they're crying, they're having a really tough time, and you keep putting them in the sling when they're already grizzly.
Yeah.
They're going to associate it with being grizzly.
Yeah.
Whereas making sure that they go in when they're in a good mood,
when they're away,
and taking them out when they're grizzly,
just
to help keep it all positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Or before you're going to go out for a walk, if you are doing something, so if you're in the house and think, okay, I'm going to put them in there and we're going to go straight out for a nice walk. Distraction just to get them used to it, as you say. But yeah, making sure they're in a happy place before you attempt to.
Yes.
I used to practice rapping with my two. It was like just one little tiny bit of soccer button or the TV on while but they'd been used to being carried, and that was just me trying to get them onto my back and things. But with a baby that hasn't been carried until a little bit older, yeah, absolutely, definitely make sure they're in that happy zone before you attempt to.
Yeah. And I know there's the other thing I suppose we should make sure that mums and dads are aware of is that there are some safety things that we need to make sure of.
Yeah.
If we have our children in a carrier of any description, and make sure that they read those guidelines, seek advice, but make sure that I was going to say, you probably know the spiel much better than I do because it's been a few years since I've worn a child.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The main things to look out for. I should have posted this on my screen and shared it, but I'll send it all to you later, Catherine.
Well, I was going to say, because this will stay on Facebook, I'm also going to be, just so everyone knows, and you know as well, I will be downloading it and uploading it to YouTube as well. Okay. So you'll be able to share it from there. So if you've got any links, let me have them because I can make sure they're all in all locations for you as well. I'm going to just, whilst you have a quick chat about all the safety things, I'm just going to make sure, see if we've got any more questions that we need to make sure we answer.
That's fine. I'll just talk them through briefly, and then if you want a quick demo with my doll in the carrier, just so I can show you as well. So TICS is the main guidance that statutory guidance across the UK, and TICS stands for tight, in view, close enough to kiss, supported knee to knee, and then the supported spine as well. And that's the standard guidance for all carrying. The type of carrier that you are using is personal preference, and as long as it's been safety tested against the UK and EU standards, which most high street ones have, you'll see it on the label, then obviously you can use whatever carrier that you like. So if you have been passed down one from 2 years ago from another family and it's safety tested and you're happy to use that kind of carrier, then that's fine. I would say all high street ones have met those standards. There are guidance and guidelines in place to recommend certain kind of carriers, so that the wide base is really, really good for supporting baby knee to knee. It's good for your back because they're being lifted up into a nice M position, so there's no pressure on your back. You'll see some people with carriers where their legs are just kind of hanging. They're more narrow-based carriers, and whereas they're fine for short-term use, they're not always going to be the most comfortable, either for baby or you. I guess you can imagine if you're walking and the legs are hanging straight down, you've got the risk of them bouncing off your knees as you're travelling. They're not very high up, so they're not being supported, which then can put pressure on your back and increase your lumbar curve as well. But that's not to say they can't be used and they're not safe. It's just something to think about if you're not particularly comfortable with the carrier that you've got for any reason. Have a look at all these kind of things. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on a carrier, there's loads of different options with good quality and good standard ones that are cheaper, or even the typical high street carrier. If they are narrow based, you can use a scarf to widen the base and lift the legs up. There are loads and loads of different things, but Tix is your go-to, and I'll post the link for Catherine to share that later on.
Fabulous.
Shall I show you a quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I've bought a few just to show you. So a lot of newborns that I see will go into a stretchy wrap. So this is your stretchy wrap. This is a long one, and that just means you've got plenty of material to tie around yourself afterwards. And especially when you're practicing, it's easier because you've got more material to play with. These are amazing for newborns, and they last up to normally about 9 months. Not because they're unsafe after that, but because by that time baby's really keen to look around, the arms will come out, they start to loosen, and then you time around Mary Hill going, oh, I just need to tighten that one up a little bit. But they are basically like having nothing on the baby because they stretch around them to support. A nice and light. This one's a Hannah wrap. I'll just show you the logo. It's a Hannah wrap and it's made of bamboo, so it's really, really breathable for baby. I will do a quick demo actually if you like, and then you can see it.
I loved my stretchy wrap. I was going to say my second one was quite a big baby, so he was very strong. And I was going to say I knew it was time to pack it away when he worked out how to hoik his feet on my hips and push.
Push is where, yeah, she needed something slightly more structured by that point then. Right, so this one, your actual Hannah logo is the middle marker. So literally you just put it around yourself and then you bring it up and over your shoulders on both sides. And then you've got it like that. So yeah, around and over the shoulders. And then it's literally, with these as well, once you've got this bit done, you can leave these on all day, which is fab, because it means you haven't got to get out of the car and put it on every time. The two lengths, the two tails, just go down the middle, like so, making sure they stay on the same side. And then at all times, you just make sure that you keep them pulled nice and tight, not overly tight, but tight enough so there's not a lot of slack. And then we cross them over, just underneath the chest bone, bring them around the back and tie it off. With the long one, you do have quite a lot of material, so you can either bring it back around the front or just leave it dangling where it is. And this is the point now where you're just ready to go. That can come out of the way and you're there. So this here is where baby will actually go into the sling. I'm just going to straighten that over there. The underneath one is where you go to first. You just pop baby up onto one shoulder. Now, obviously with newborns, their legs are still going to be in that lovely froggy position, which is why these are so good, because they just go around baby. You haven't got to adjust their legs or move them in any way. So we take that over the back. And then the same the other side. And over the back. And the shoulder. Arms, well, obviously when they're younger, they're going to just tuck them in wherever they're going to go anyway. But they can go wherever baby wants them to go. And then I tend to put these back above my shoulders to see not too warm. And then if you need the extra support, or you'd like the extra support, this bit here that you tied around your middle just comes up and over the bottom and just adds an extra layer of support there. I mean, this is my demo doll, it's weighted, so the legs don't sit up as much as a younger baby would. But if you just take that out of the way, you can see there that it's completely supported under baby's bottom. And the great thing about these is you can wear them as close to you as you want to. Both of my children used to be chest planters, so it's always advisable just to turn baby's head to one side, unless you are completely able to watch them and listen to them. If they're happy to face plant there, you can watch them, and that's good. If they tend to put their face into there, you can just tuck the shoulder back. If they've got not much neck support yet, you can use this here to roll it at the back, or you can use a muslin as well, just to add a bit more support around the neck. So that's it there. So we're doing tight, close enough to kiss, in view. So the main thing is that you don't want to let the chin drop onto the chest to compromise this airway. So keeping the neck up and the chin up nice and straight. In view, close enough to kiss, knee to knee support. So you can see here, there, that's just lifting those knees up, not quite so much with mine, but it would do with the younger baby. And then the spine nice and supported as well. And then off you go. So they are fantastic for younger babies.
Yeah.
Older babies as well. You wouldn't have these on your back particularly, although there are a couple that are stronger material and people do wrap with them on their backs. A lot of people who get on with stretches then progress to like a woven wrap afterwards as well, and they can go on the back and things. But yeah, that's a perfect ideal for a newborn, although some people can find that they just don't get on with them. They think it takes too long to get them on and things, but very worthwhile practicing with something like this, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they can be a bit intimidating to start off with because it's just this one piece of fabric. It does take a little bit of practice, but no, I absolutely loved my stretchy. I was gonna say, but you're right, it is that thing of you've got to pull it tight, and it's tighter than what you think when you first start.
Yep.
You've got to remember, it's a bit like a t-shirt. Sometimes your t-shirt can be a bit tight, but it doesn't feel tight once it's on.
Exactly. And you can always loosen it off. It's always best to go for the tighter option. And then if it really does feel like baby's pushed against you, all you need to do is very carefully into the back and just loosen a little bit. Or start again. If you've got time to play around in the house, it's muscle memory. Once you've done a stretchy wrap 3 or 4 times, it just becomes memory, and you know exactly how tight to go again. So worst case scenario, if you're out and it feels too loose, then you just tighten it up. Oh yeah, so yeah, stretchy wraps. I'm sure you like those as well. I've got a couple more here. I've got my Integra, which is a lovely option again from newborn, because you can. It looks quite wide there, but all you do if you've got a younger baby is roll it over twice, and then hang on, that way. Roll it over twice. Fasten it around your waist, and then this bit here just goes in as narrow as you want it to, which is ideal, because then when you put your baby on you, this will just adjust to wherever their legs and their knees are sitting, and as they get older, so about 14 pounds upwards, you wouldn't need to do that anymore. You'd just wear it without the base. So this goes over. I've done it for my baby. Sadly, my baby's a little bit taller than a newborn would be, but that would lower it against their back as well, so you wouldn't lose them in the depth of the sling. And then you literally just put your shoulder straps over, reach behind your back. This needs a little bit of practice in a mirror if you ain't it like me, because getting the cross strap can be a bit fiddly to start with, but once you've got that as well, then you just tighten that one off. Same on the other side. Reach around and grab the opposite one, and then that just connects. I haven't loosened that off before, there you go. That just connects. At this point, they're very, very safe. That you just then do all your adjustments later on. So you'd get the back, you do some bouncing to get their feet nice and deep just down here. Make sure they're knee to knee, make sure they're comfy, and then just tighten off by pulling. There. Then the hood is again an extra help for the neck, and that just connects into there. These are fantastic for being able to put them in the pushchair, in the car, in your handbag if you're not carrying them all the time. And they do 3 different sizes. So they've got the newborn size. They've got size 2, which is about 21 pounds upwards, and they've got their size 3 as well, which is a preschool carrier. So they go all the way through the sizes. But they are very good as well.
Fab. Nice and easy, that one.
Nice and easy, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Integra. I think I'll send you all the website details as well. And that's that one. I have got one more. I should just quickly show you this one. Oh, so this one here is a Tula. Now Tula used to just do one standard and one toddler size, and then they used to sell a newborn insert as well. Which the only downside with the insert was that it was really, really thick and quite hard to get baby positioned into it well, and especially in summer, it was almost like they were wearing an omni duvet. So I never ever got on with the insert, sadly, which is why I waited until mine were a bit bigger. But they now do them right from birth, and they've got this fantastic device here at the bottom, which is literally just a Prested. It means, can you see that? You can spread it out to the full standard size across, or you can just push it in, and you've got 3 different Presteds that you can use right from day one, and then you just move it out at each stage. It tells you the exact weights in theory as well, although you obviously go with your baby's size and length and everything else as well. And it's also got adjustables here on the front so that you can lower it for their back as well. This one's a Explorer, that's the word. An Explorer, you can carry them facing forwards as well. With carrying forwards, again, it's fine, apart from if they're tired. If they're likely to go to sleep, the recommendation is that you carry them, you turn them back around to face you, because obviously if they're going to go to sleep this way, you've got the risk of the head dropping down. You can't see them, you can't interact with them. And also with carrying forwards, it's recommended for not very long at a time, so half an hour, 40 minutes, you know, be your absolute maximum really, and then turn them back around to you. So very quickly, this one again, just around the waist, like so. Tighten it, make sure that you can't go anywhere, because otherwise they're going to be slipping around you. And then, baby, against you. And with all carriers, if you just imagine that you're holding baby against you without any carrier there first, just to get them in a really good position, and then literally just bring the sling around them, over the shoulders, and then they're in. Now this one's got a chest strap. This can be the only problem with these, depending on which way people's arms go, whether you can reach this way, whether you can go this way. Again, I remember the first time I wore mine to London, I couldn't do it. I had to ask somebody on the train to fasten me up. I was like, I need to master these. So I now move them up as high as they will go towards my neck. Make the straps as long as you can before you try fastening them, ideally before you put them on. And then you should then be able to reach over the top, fasten it in, and pull to tighten. And that's all there is to that one. Yeah, you can do it before. You can loosen off the arms underneath, so you can put it over your head and then tighten. Only downside about that is that you have to wiggle around and do more adjustments. Whereas if you're the only person wearing this carrier, you know it's the right size for you, and it's just a matter of finding away you go. But again, there you go. So tight, in view, close enough to kiss, knee to knee support, and then the spine nice and supported as well. And these ones are really, really popular. They are on the more expensive side, but they are, if you're going to be carrying a lot, they are really worth it. So.
Yeah. So one of the questions is up to how old can you use carriers for, or what weight?
Yeah, as long as you want to, pretty much. They do all kinds of things now. Preschool carriers tend to go up to around 55 or 60 pounds. And they're made that way because people want to carry for longer, and also for children with disabilities that can't walk. They are making them bigger and bigger and bigger now. I still dance with Toby on my back from time to time. Not all the time now, sadly, because he's not always that bothered.
They want to go, once they're mobile, they want their freedom.
They do want their freedom, although he does still love to come and have a boogie with me, which is brilliant. And I've got a toddler Tula. As you can see, that's safety tested up to £45. He's currently at 39.40, and he's 5. I mean, he's slighter, especially than my older one. The great thing is when they get to an older age, you haven't got to worry about the need to knee for them. It's just purely that his knees are now quite far past that, and it just makes them heavier on your back. I haven't got many friends that do carry like I do anymore, but we've just really enjoyed the journey. And because I've done it all the way through, I'm obviously used to carrying that weight, as well.
Yeah. No, with my youngest, I extended carried him because he has severe dyspraxia. So going out for a big day, he just didn't have the muscle tone to be able to sustain it. So rather than having to stop and go back or trying to lug him, it was much easier to wear him. So
yeah, exactly. And at 4 or 5, even beyond that, they get tired, and we are so used to picking them, sticking them on our hip, or trying to give them a piggyback. And there's so much more pressure on your body doing that than there is actually using that carrier.
Yeah.
Again, I've got friends that have never really bothered to go into the toddler realm. They've just carried on using their standard ones because it's only for a short time. It's not going to do any damage to the child, or any damage to the mum for short bursts. It just means that the back's not as high as it could be. The legs, the knees aren't knee to knee. But we're talking for the newborn and baby stage. And the reason that's so important is just because of the support there. If there are going to be any hip issues, not supporting and not having the correct position when you're carrying, be it a sling or not, can potentially aggravate. So you just have to make sure that you've got the positioning right. People who have their children in hip, what are they called? The supports. Sometimes when they're born, they're recommended strongly to carry them in a wide base carrier because the positioning is spot on for where it should be. So that's the only reason for the knee to knee really, when they're younger. But as I say, as they get older, it's not going to be as comfortable for long periods of time, but it doesn't matter that it's gone beyond their knee at all. So so the answer is you can carry them for as long as you want to, really, as I demonstrate.
Yep. Now I know you. Are you still doing the sling swing sessions online?
I am, yes, indeed.
So, but at the moment, people are going to need their own slings to join in with that.
Yes. Yeah.
But I did see that. Is it in July that you're hoping to do some sessions?
I'm hoping to do some sessions. Yes. I'm praying. I was considering starting a bit earlier because I know they're starting to allow football teams and things to 11. Obviously, the problem is I could do it now, but a baby's obviously going to count as a person. So it might mean we can only have 2 moms with their babies plus me dancing. But I'm hoping that by July, as gyms and things open and that number just starts to increase, we can socially distance on a nice, pleasant day outside, and we can do that then.
Yeah, no, we're the same. I haven't scheduled anything yet, but keeping fingers crossed that 4th of July, when they loosen all the restrictions, we'll get some permissions. Talking to venues at the moment. Can I use your outside space, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the right time of year, isn't it? I suppose the only thing is you can't guarantee that it's not going to rain, but we need to try these things, definitely. And we'll have some dry days.
Yeah, it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. But you just look at all this lovely weather and think, oh, it would have been so nice there. So watch this space. But I have had a couple of people join my online classes and they've come and collected a carrier from me because they were going to hire one.
Okay, so they could. There is that option. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, I'd normally let a carrier be used for a class included in the class price. But my insurance for my classes is different to my library, so I actually have to physically hire a sling under my library insurance as the library sling. I can't loan out a sling to be taken away for overnight purely for class. So I didn't want people having to come and pick one up then bring it back, which
But if people know that's an option, especially those that are thinking about it but aren't sure, get to try something. Do an activity where they can then shout out or ask questions and then bring it back.
Absolutely, yeah.
But no, I was going to say, so give me the sling swing thing as well. So anyone who has just started and wants to see other people using it and help build up that network, because we all know how important our mummy networks are. Absolutely. So if you can find other mummies that are sling using as well, so if you've got any questions, obviously ask you, but also sometimes you just want another mummy to ask. So that would be great.
Yeah. No.
But I was going to say, I can hear my boys are starting to get a bit restless out there. The world still exists out there.
Well, thank you for chatting to me. And so if you've got any questions, you know where I am, and I'll send the links over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I will send you the YouTube link. Obviously, you'll be able to find this on the Facebook page, share it across to you so your guys can see it as well. And thank you very much for coming and chatting to me this afternoon. It has been
Yeah.
absolutely lovely.
Ah,
So, guys, over in the world of Facebook, have a lovely afternoon. If you do have any questions if you've watched this on replay and you've got a question, pop it down. We will check it back out again, and we'll come back to you and answer any questions you guys have. So please ask any other questions down below. Otherwise, we shall see you all soon. Bye bye.
bye.